emotionally attached to fast, you probably feel it before you can explain it. Someone smiles at you, listens a little longer than others, asks one good question, and suddenly they matter. You start replaying their words. You imagine conversations that haven't happened. You feel closer than the timeline allows. Then the familiar fear appears. Why am I like this? Why do I care so quickly? Why do I feel more than I should? You might tell yourself you're desperate, too sensitive, not too much. Maybe you've been told that before. But what if this isn't a flaw at all? What if it's a response? A pattern learned quietly, a strategy your heart developed long before you noticed. Let's talk about the real cause. People think fast attachment means you're lonely, or insecure, or weak. That explanation is simple and wrong. Fast attachment usually begins much earlier, in moments where connection felt rare or inconsistent. Maybe you grew up around people who were loving sometimes, ups and other times, emotionally closed, then suddenly distant. You learned something important back. Then attention could disappear. Warmth wasn't guaranteed. So when it arrived, you held it tightly, not because you were needy, but because you were adapting. Your nervous system learned to recognize connection as something precious, something temporary, something you might lose. So when someone feels safe, your system says, hold on, don't miss this. That's not weakness, that's memory. People who attach slowly usually grew up with steady closeness. They expect connection to last. They don't rush, but you learn that closeness can vanish without warning. So you move fast, you invest early, you open deeply, because part of you believes, if I don't, it will be gone. This is why small moments hit you so hard. A late night conversation, a shared secret, a soft tone of voice. Your mind doesn't see them as small. It sees them as proof. Proof that connection is happening now. And when connection feels rare, now feels urgent. You might notice this pattern especially in romantic situations. But it happens in friendships too, even with mentors, even with strangers who show care. Your heart doesn't attach to people. It attaches to safety, to being seen, to feeling chosen. And if those experiences were inconsistent growing up, your system learned to grab them when they appear. That's the cause. Not desperation, not weakness, not immaturity. It's a survival pattern. But here's where the pain comes in. You attach quickly, but others don't always move at the same speed. So you wait and analyze, and hope. Every delayed text feels heavy. Every shift in tone feels dangerous. Your nervous system starts scanning. Did I do something wrong? Did I imagine the closeness? Is it slipping away? And when it does slip away, even slightly, it hurts more than it seems like it should. Because you're not losing just a person. You're losing a feeling your system doesn't trust will come back easily. That's why heartbreak hits you hard. That's why endings feel personal. That's why detachment feels impossible. It's not about them. It's about what they represented. Safety, connection, relief. Now here's the part most people never hear. Getting attached quickly doesn't mean you love easily. It means you bond deeply. And bonding deeply is not common. It's actually a sign of emotional intelligence, of empathy, of awareness. You notice shifts. You sense moods. You pick up on subtle emotional signals. That sensitivity makes connection feel intense. Because for you, it is. Problem isn't that you attach fast. Problem is that no one taught you how to pace attachment. No one taught you that connection can build slowly. That safety doesn't have to be immediate. That you don't have to give your whole heart at the first sign of warmth. So your system does what it knows, it leaps. But leaping without grounding leads to burnout, to overthinking, to emotional exhaustion. So what do? The goal is not to shut your heart down. That would be a tragedy. The goal is to teach your system something new. That connection can be steady. That closeness doesn't need to be rushed. That safety can grow without urgency. This starts with awareness. The next time you feel that fast pull, that sudden emotional gravity, pause. Not to judge it, but to notice it. Say quietly to yourself, I feel attached, and that's okay. Then ask one gentle question. What am I responding to right now? Is it the person or the feeling? Often, it's the feeling, and feelings can exist without immediate action. You can enjoy connection without handing over your entire emotional world. You can like someone without imagining a future. You can feel warm Another shift is learning to give yourself some of what you seek if connection feels rare. Create more sources of it, friendships, creative outlets, quiet rituals that make you feel grounded. When your life holds multiple points of safety, no single person carries all the weight, and attachment softens not because you care less, but because you're supported. Finally, be careful with the story you tell about yourself. You are not too much. You are not broken. You are not embarrassing for feeling deeply. You are someone whose heart learned to move fast. Because once, moving slow wasn't safe. That makes sense. And healing doesn't mean becoming cold. It means becoming secure. Secure enough to stay open. Without rushing. Without gripping. You don't need to stop attaching. You need to learn how to stay with yourself while you do. If this resonated with you, you're not alone. There are many people walking around with fast hearts, quietly wondering why they feel so much. Now you know the cause, and knowing that changes everything.